kids, let's continue with exercise 3, shares and dividend. I hope you have seen the part 1 of my video so that your concepts, the basic concepts are clear. Come on, let's continue with the next part. Yes kids, coming to the 17th question, it's important. Which is a better investment? 12% rupees 20 shares at rupees 16 or 15% 20 rupees shares at rupees 25. In which company should I invest? Should I invest in this company or should I invest in this company? How do you find it? Whenever you have to check which is a better investment, you will always check finding the rate of return. In which company you are getting better returns. That will tell you it's a better investment or not. Okay, let's do this. I will just make a separator so it becomes easier. Now, what information is given to you? Dividend percent is given. Face value is given. And market value is given. Same thing over here. Dividend percent is given. Face value is given. And market value is given. Okay. Now, number of shares, it's not given. So, let the number of shares be X. Okay. Now, if the number of shares is there, market value is given to us. You can find the investment. Investment is number of shares into market value. So, this is 16x. Okay. Now, for rate of return, you got investment. You have to find dividend. So, let's find dividend. Dividend is equal to number of shares into dividend percent into face value. Okay. 20 5s. So, it is 12x upon 5. Now, find the rate of return. Rate of return is dividend divided by investment. Investment is 16x times 100. So, this would be 12x upon 5 into 1 over 16x into 100. Whenever you divide, you will take it as a reciprocal. X and x gets cancelled. 4 3s are, 4 4s are, 4 25s are, 5 5s are. So, it is 15% return that I am getting. Same way you will find over here, number of shares is X. So, the investment is 24 times X, which is 24X. Okay. Let's find dividend. Dividend is X into 20 into 15%. Dividend percent. 5s are, 3s are. So, dividend percent is, dividend is 3x. Now, find the rate of return. Rate of return is dividend divided by investment times 100. 8, 4 2s are, 4 25s are, which is 12.5%. Now tell me which one is giving us better investment. Which rate of return is better? 15%. So investment in this company is a better investment. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Yes kids. Let's do question number 18. Ashish bought 4,500 rupees 10 shares paying 12% dividend. So first number of shares is 4,500. Face value of the share is rupees 10. Dividend percent is 12%. Okay. He sold them. He had bought this much and then he sold those shares when the price rose to 23 rupees. So when the market value rose to 23 rupees, that time he sold the shares. And he invested the proceeds in rupees 25 rupees shares. So he invested in another company share. Face value is rupees 25. Paying 10%. So dividend percent is 10% per annum at rupees 18. Market value is rupees 18. Let's read this part again. He invested the proceeds in 25 rupees shares paying 10% per annum at rupees 18. You have to find the change in his annual income. That means this dividend income and this dividend income, you have to find the change. Okay. So let's first find dividend for the first part. Now number of shares is given, dividend percent is given, face value is given. You can find the dividend. So now dividend, oh, he bought 4,500 rupees 10 shares. Okay, he sold them. Okay, so dividend is equal to number of shares into face value into 12%. 45 times 12, it is 5,400. Okay. Now he invested these proceeds in 25 rupees share. This is the first part of the dividend. Okay. Now he invested the in when the market value was rupees 23. How many shares was it? We don't know. So first let's find the number of shares. Oh, the number of shares is given. So the investment is 4,500 into 23 rupees. How much did he invest? 45 times 23, which is rupees 103,500. This much amount he invested in the next company, and he bought this company's share where the face value is 25 rupees, dividend percent is 10% and market value is 18 rupees. They have not given the number of shares. We know the investment, we know the market value. So let's find the number of shares first. 1,03,500 over 18. So when you divide it, you will get the answer as 5750. The number of shares is 5750. Now you have to find the dividend. So dividend is equal to number of shares into face value into dividend percent. So 575 times 25, you will get rupees 14375. Okay. Now what is the change in his annual income? So change in the annual income is 14,375 minus 45 times 12 is 540 minus 5,400. So 75, 9, 13, so 8. So this is the change in the annual income in rupees. 8,975. First part of the question, you found the dividend. Okay. Now you invested the proceed in another share and the market value was 25. You found the investment. Based on the investment, first thing you found the number of shares because you wanted to find the dividend. Then you found the change in the annual income, which is first dividend or second dividend, whichever is greater, that minus the other one. Okay. Chalo, let's do the next question. Let's do the 20th question. Vimal sold a certain number of 20 rupees shares. Do you know the shares? No. So let the number of shares, certain number of shares means you are not aware of the shares, right? So let the number of shares be X. Of rupees 20, face value is rupees 20. Paying 8% dividend. So dividend percent is 8%. At rupees 18. So market value is rupees 18. And invested the proceeds in 10 rupees shares, another company where the face value is rupees 10, paying 12% dividend. So dividend percent is 12% at 50% premium. So market value would be 50% of 10 rupees is 5 rupees. So market value would be 10 plus 5, which is 15 rupees. If his annual income decreases by 120, that means initially the annual income was good and when he moved to the other company, his annual income decreases by 120 rupees. That means dividend 1 minus dividend 2, the difference should be 120, right? Let's do it. Find the number of shares sold by Vimal. Okay, first market value is given to you, face value is given to you, dividend percent. So first find the dividend. Dividend is equal to number of shares into face value into dividend percent. So dividend is 8x upon 5. Okay. Now after selling these shares, he invested that amount, that investment into another company shares, right? So first we'll have to find the investment. So the investment is number of shares, which is x, into market value, which is 18. So investment is 18x. Now this investment he invested here in this company. Okay. Now he invested the proceeds in this company, paying 12% at 10% premium. Now you will have to find the dividend for this also. So how will you find dividend? You don't know the number of shares. So number of shares is equal to investment upon market value, right? Why? Because investment is number of shares into market value. So number of shares would be investment upon market value. Now find the dividend. So dividend is number of shares into face value into dividend percent, which is 12%. 3 5s are 3 4s are. That's it. 2 5s are 2 9s are, which is 9 4s are 36x upon 25. This part is clear. Now the first dividend you got this, the second dividend you got this, and what is the question? What does the question says? If the annual dividend income decreases by 120. So what does it mean? It means that 8x upon 5 minus 36x upon 25, the difference is 120 rupees. Right? Is it clear? So let's do this. Now you will solve it by taking the LCM. LCM is 25. 5 into 5, 8 into 5, 8 5s are 40x minus 36x is equal to 120. So 4x upon 25 is equal to 120. X is equal to 120 into 25 divided by 4. 430s are, answer is 750. So how many shares were sold by Vimal? It is 750. The number of shares were 750. Coming to the next question, question number 21. A company declares a dividend of 8% on rupees 100 shares. So dividend percent given is 8%. Face value given is rupees 100. Atul buys such shares. Do you know the number of shares? No. So let the number of shares be X. Atul buys such shares and he gets 10% on his investment. So return on investment or return on return on whatever you have invested, that is equal to 10%. At what price does he buy each share? You have to find the market value. Okay, come on, let's find dividend. Dividend is equal to number of shares into 8% into face value. So dividend is 8x. Why are we finding dividend? What is the formula to find return of investment? It is dividend upon investment times 100. Okay. Now, what is the investment? Number of shares is X. We don't know the market value. So the investment would be X into, let's take market value as M. Okay. So X into M. Now use return on investment, which is XM. Now return of investment formula is ROI is equal to dividend upon investment times 100, right? So what is the dividend? Dividend is 8x upon investment is xm times 100. And what is the rate of return given? 10%, so it is 10. X and x gets cancelled. Now cross multiply. 10m is equal to 8 into 100, 800. So m is equal to 800 divided by 10, which is 80. So the market value is rupees 80. Just go by the formula, you will not go wrong. Here number of shares are also not given, market value was also not given. So I assumed it and I used the formula. Okay, yes kids, let's do question number 25. How much should a man invest in rupees 50 share? Face value is rupees 50. Selling at rupees 60. Market value is rupees 60. To obtain an income of rupees 450. Income means what? Dividend. Dividend is rupees 450. If the rate of dividend declared is 10%, so dividend percent is given as 10%. Okay. Now first thing, number of shares is not given. You have to find the number of shares. You can use the formula for dividend. So dividend is equal to number of shares, let it be x, into face value into dividend percent. Right? 2 zeros cut. So this is dividend, what is given? 450. 450 is equal to fx, 5x. So x is equal to 450 divided by 5, which is 90. So now you know the number of shares. What you have to find? You have to find yield percent. What is the formula to find yield percent? It is dividend upon investment into 100. Dividend is given to you. Now you have to find investment. Number of shares is there, market value is there. So you can find investment. So investment is number of shares into market value, which is rupees 5,400. Okay. Now you have to find the yield percent. So yield percent is dividend upon investment times 100. 2 zeros, 2 zero cut, 5 6 9 6 are 54, 9 50s are 2 3s are 2 25s are 25 upon 3, which is 8, 1 upon 3%. I hope it's clear. Let's do question number 27. A man invests rupees 4,500. So investment is rupees 4,500 in shares of a company which is paying 7.5% dividend. So dividend percent is 7.5%. If rupees 100 shares are available, so face value is given as rupees 100. If rupees 100 shares are available at a discount of 10%, so 10% of 100 rupees is 90 rupees. So the market value is rupees 90. Find the number of shares he purchases. So how do you find the number of shares? Number of shares is equal to investment upon market value. Investment is 4,500 divided by market value 00950. So the number of shares is 50 shares. Second one, his annual income. So income means dividend. Dividend is number of shares into face value into dividend percent. 5, 25, 2s are 37. This is the dividend. It's coming to the second last question. 28th one. Sachin invests rupees 8,500. What is that? Investment. Rupees 8,500 in 10% shares. So dividend percent is 10%. Rupees 100 shares. Face value is rupees 100 at rupees 170. So that is a market value, rupees 170. At rupees 170 he bought it. Now he sells the share. Do you know the number of shares? No. First thing you will find the number of shares. So number of shares is equal to investment over market value. 0 0 cut. So number of shares is 50. Okay. Now he sells the share when the price of each share rises by rupees 30. So when the price rose by 30 rupees, that means what is the new market value? New market value is 170 plus 30, which is rupees 200. Right? Now he sold it at when the price rose by rupees 30. He invests the proceed in 12%. So another, this dividend percent is 12%. Rupees 100 shares, face value is rupees 100. At rupees 125, market value is rupees 125. Find the sale proceed. What is the sale proceed? The sale proceed is number of shares, which is 50, into market value, which is rupees 10,000 rupees. Okay. Then comes how many 125 shares he buys. How much investment he has made? 10,000 rupees. What is the market value? 125. So number of shares is equal to investment. So if I am selling it, I am getting money. That is my sale proceed. But for the other, it would be an investment. So investment is 10,000 upon 125. 5 2s are 10, 25. 5 2,000. 5 5s are 5 400. So it is 80 shares he bought. Now, what is the change in his annual income? So what was the first dividend over here? So dividend, initially it was number of shares into face value is 100 into dividend percent is 10%. So initially the dividend was rupees 500. Now what is the dividend? So dividend is equal to number of shares into face value into dividend percent 12 over 100. 0 0 cut. So rupees 960. What is the change in the annual income? So you will subtract it. So change in annual income is rupees 960 minus rupees 500, which is rupees 460. Right? Is it clear? Understood? It's coming to the last question. A company with 500 shares of nominal value. So number of shares is 500. Okay? Nominal value, that is face value, is rupees 120. Okay? Declares an annual dividend of 15%. So dividend percent is given as 15%. Calculate the total amount of dividend paid by the company. So first one, you have to find the dividend. Dividend is number of shares into face value into dividend percent. 75 times 12. 900. So dividend is 9,000 rupees. Okay. Now second part. The annual income of Mr. Sharma, who holds only 80 shares of the company. So the second part would be, you have to find dividend that Mr. Sharma will earn. Now how many shares is he holding? He is holding only 80 shares. So 80 into face value into dividend percent, 15%. 12 times 8 is 96. So 96 times 15 is 1,440. Okay. Now if the return percent, so return percent means ROR. Return percent is given as 10%. You have to find the market value of each share. Okay. What is the formula to find the return on investment? It is dividend upon investment times 100. Return on investment is 10%. What is the dividend that you got for 80 shares? It is 1440 upon investment times 100. So investment will be equal to, so the easier way to remember it, do cross multiplication. Investment into 10 is 144000. So investment is this divided by 10, 14400, 14,400 rupees. Okay, now but you have to find the market value of each share. What is the formula for investment? Investment is number of shares into market value. It is 14,400. Number of shares is 80 into market value. So market value would be 14,400 divided by 80. 0 cut. 8 ones are 8. 8. So this will become 8 ones are 8. 6. So 8 180. So the market value is rupees 180. I hope this chapter is clear. Now the basic things which I want you all to be clear about this. Remember the basic formulas. Write whatever information is given to you. When you are using the formula, you know, oh, you need to find this, first find this. So step by step you will not make mistake. I have completed the entire chapter from shares and dividend. Please, if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment, and also let me know on the comment box which chapter you want me to take up so that I can help you out. Thank you, stay connected, and goodbye.